collection of data. What do you understand by this? Collecting a data means what? See, we can say that the collection of data is in the form of a numbers, that is numerical. This is a very important thing. Whenever I am talking about the data, I am talking about the numerical data, something which can be measured, okay? Like any number, if I say weight of the students or height of the students or marks given in your math test, all these things can be written in numbers. So you can write them in numerical form. So they will make a data, right? Can you measure someone's honesty? Can you measure someone's loyalty? No. That means they will not form a type of data. Okay, something which can be measured in numbers, we will consider only those things included in data here. So, here we will start with various types of data, and the first type of data is raw data. So, what is raw data? As you say, something which is raw material. That means something on which nothing is being processed upon, right? That means which is very clear, nothing has been processed over it. So, in the same way we can say, for example, if I take the point out of 50, if it is obtained by 15 students of a school in a hockey game, are here as follows. This is the score of 15 students which they have scored out of 50. Now, the top 10 in the original form, like I have just written that first player scored this much, second player scored this, third scored this, fourth, and so on, right? This is simply a collection of data. I have just collected the data and it is written over here. It's not arranged, it is not organized, nothing, just collected and written. So, this form of data is called as raw data, because we have not done anything on this, we have not done any process over it, right? If I could have arranged it in descending order or ascending order, then it will not be the raw data, okay? It will be the processed data in that case. So, here this is raw data, means nothing is applied over this. Now, next type of data is called as primary data. Now, how it can be collected? Various ways are there to collect the data, right? Like if I want something for myself, or if a teacher wants something from her class, then if a person or the investigator, the one who is investigating is called as the investigator. So, we say the data collected by an investigator by himself directly is called as primary data, right? Direct observation, direct we are taking the data. For example, if a teacher is there and we can say the teacher wants to know the height of the students of her class, and she is directly asking from the students like what is your height, how much is your height in this case. So, the teacher is directly collecting the data. So, the data which is collected by the teacher will be called as the primary data in this case, right? And we have another type of data which is called as secondary data. So, just opposite of primary data, if it is not collected directly by the person, but if it is taken from some other sources, right? For example, we see when investigator collect data from other sources for his requirement, it is called as secondary data. Like you must have seen in various, the government publishes its journals, some publications are there, right? Some periodicals are there, some reports are there, okay. For example, how much quantity of wheat is required for a particular nation? Then, is it necessary or is it possible to go to each and every house and for ask the quantity required by them? No. In that case, the government takes the records from various journals which are already containing the data, right, which is collected by some other person. Fine. Just we will take a simple example of it. Suppose I am a class teacher and I want to generate the whole report card for that. Okay. Now, I am taking maths in your class, right? So, I will check your notebooks and I will write the marks for maths here. But what about the other subjects? Science, social science, Hindi, English, etc. The respective teachers are teaching you people, and they are giving me the mark list. So, I am using the data which is collected by some other person. So, these marks for various different subjects like for Hindi, English, Science and SST for me will be the secondary data. And if I am checking the notebook and I am giving the marks for maths individually, so that will be the primary data for me. I hope this example made you clear the difference between the primary and the secondary data. Now, let us see the next step after collection of data is what? It is organizing the data. Once the data is collected, then what it is required? It has to be organized in a proper manner. It has to be arranged in a proper manner. So, what could be the possible things here? It can be arranged in a ascending order, or it can be arranged in a descending order. Some manner it should be there, maybe in a graphical form, maybe in a pictograph form, or some other way. There may be a pie chart which you will be reading it in your senior classes as well. So here for organizing the data, let's see this example. Suppose the teacher collect the data related to the height of the students of her class. Now here is it, like Rohan is 4.2 feet, Sohan is this, Meera, Kabir and so on. This is the data which is collected by the teacher. Now this type of data is a raw data because nothing is arranged, just teacher has written the name and the height, name and the height, name and the height. It's not arranged. Now what happened? This is collection. Now it has to be organized. So let us see, after organizing, if we arrange it in different ways, like she can arrange in a serial order or alphabetical order, might be according to the name of the students, or maybe the ascending or the descending order according to the heights. So here the above data which was represented in the previous, it is called as the raw data, or we call it as the ungrouped data because there is no grouping done over here. Now after this, let us see, after arranging the data in ascending order, what we get. So we get here, it can be arranged in serial order, or it can be arranged in alphabetical order, or in ascending order or descending order, and once it is arranged, then it will not be a raw data, right? It will be organized data in that case. So here after arranging, let us see the second table. Very clearly you can see here the data are not arranged, so this is a raw data. But when it is arranged in ascending order, we get what we call as in ascending order. After arranging, we got the final result which is easy for us to compare as well, right? For example, now you can see this table and can easily answer any of these questions, like who is the tallest student? You can easily see RN is the tallest student because 5.1 is written at last, and see it is already arranged in ascending order from smaller to bigger. Now who is the smallest student? Looking at this table, you need to think over, you have to find out. But looking at the second table, you can easily see that Meera is the smallest in height. Similarly, how many students are of same height? Now just check it, that 2 students are 4.1 feet. Then you can again say 2 students are 4.2 feet. 1 student is 4.3. Then you can say 2 students are 4.5, and you can easily compare them, right? And how many are more than 5 feet? So that also you can see, just 1 student is more than 5 feet. So it is far better. Isn't it easy for us to conclude from this data various conclusions? We can easily draw various conclusions after organizing a certain data. So first step is to collect the data. Second step is to organize the data. Now organization can be done in a tabular form also. So now after this, let us see about some representative values of certain numbers. So let us begin with an opening problem over here. For example, you must have heard about the word average in your daily life, right? Like something which we use in our day-to-day life, like what is the average temperature of the day, how much is the average rainfall on a particular day, or what is your average marks. Or you may take an example like, if Isha spends on an average of about 5 hours daily for her studies, then what do you understand by average? So here by average we understand that might be some days she is studying for the less number of hours, and for some days she is studying for some longer hours. But at an average, if we talk about for a whole week, then we say, or about a day, here we can say she studies for 5 hours in a particular day. One more example with this, like the average temperature at this time of the year is about 40 degrees Celsius. So is it necessary that every time, every moment of the day, the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius? Of course not. The temperature will be higher in the afternoon and the temperature will be low in the night. But if we talk about a day, we calculate the average temperature. Let us study this thing in more detail. What is average? What is mean?